Hey everyone, this is Keala from Organized and Creative, coming at you with another task management breakdown video. These are pretty informal. Today we're doing another top down, going over the calendar that we do and how you can take some of the action projects and actually break them down using the calendar. A few things that I want to highlight. So we actually just mounted a desk calendar onto our wall using some string and some command hooks. That was the best option for us. We wanted something that was a little more, had a lot more space, that was big, and that could still manage the whole year. And a lot of the things that are this big, they're usually just 1 month. Dry erase board options or other ones like that, they kind of just cover the month and you have to erase and add in the rest of the month or the year. With the desk calendar, it kind of came with everything that we needed, and this helps us to take the same methodology of planning out all 7 days of the week with our clipboards, just expands it to being able to handle the month and the rest of the year. You're using this calendar for two things. You're scheduling out events that you wouldn't necessarily schedule into the task manager. You could, and in certain cases we have, but you've kind of put it here, and because you're looking at it, you kind of know, okay, this is what's happening, and I've blocked out that portion of time on my task manager, so it's not even really relevant. The other thing that we've done is we're showing a specific example of how to actually put the post-its onto the calendar. So we have kind of a batch of tasks that need to be done today, and we've put them here. These will be able to be moved to another day because they all kind of go together. You would do that if you were scheduling out other areas of the day. You can just stack them all for that day onto the calendar. You still have room to put in an event or two if you need to, and it's pretty easy to take the whole thing off, write what you need to, and then put it down. So this is how you can still take the actions that you need to do and schedule out throughout the year and put them in. Now, what we've also gone ahead and done is kept kind of the reading modules that we talked about in a previous video. And this is how, because they weren't scheduled out for the day, they're resting on the calendar. And when it's time to actually schedule out, like this Wednesday or this Thursday, we can just move them out and put them down on our schedule clipboards when we need them. Now I have a bonus option for you. I've moved the calendar off for a second so I can highlight this point. Now there's a lot of people that have things due, especially money, whether it's loans or whatever, in kind of significant amounts, and you got to do a payment plan. Now this is pretty near and dear to my heart, so I'm going to go over using the task process, and then we're going to flip and put these things onto the calendar so that you can pay attention in case you want to do this process. So we're going to use, this is a kind of a real example, but I'm keeping it pretty ambiguous. So this is just an amount of a payment, a full payment that I would need to make over time. This is what's left of my payment. I'm gonna put the total here, and I've done the math already. So I already know that I'm able to make monthly payments, my monthly payments, counting interest and all of that, because that's important. You want to include not just what your minimum payment is, but also the interest, what the interest would end up working out to be, so you actually pay everything down in this case. I already know that the math works out to 106. So that's what this number actually was, counting the interest. So sometimes it's not, you have to do the math yourself. I already did it, So this is how I got this number. Now, I've only done 3 months here so far. For me, it's easier to work in batches of 3. If you have a different system, you want to do 2 or 4, if that works, do it. So I'm doing it in this group of 3 because there's one thing that I want to cover before I list out everything else. I am going to make a post-it called Extra Pay. What this is telling me is that if I somehow got enough to pay a portion of this down, this is the number that it's going to give me. Now, one of the reasons why I'm going to keep track of this is because if I am able to pay more than just the one amount, I know what number I need to pay, so I know the different targets that I can hit for this process. Now, I personally, if I only had enough to cover the 2, I wouldn't do the Extra Pay. It's just because I want to make sure that I can cover month to month first. But if I had enough to cover 3 months, I'm gonna do it. So that's the process. Now I'm just going to lay out the rest of my post-it so you can see it, and then we'll come back to it. All right, so I ended up not having enough space, so I'm just going to put this amount off to the side so that you can still see it and whatever. So this is the amount of payments that I still need to make. Now, because I know that this is everything, I'm going to change one post-it. So this one, that's month 14, I'm going to put with a different color tracker. Now, I'm doing this so that I can visually see that this is my last payment. This is just for morale, motivation reasons, whatever, anything that will help to kind of keep this in track. Now, I don't like the idea of going into 14 months of having to pay something off. So that's where this comes in. I've gone ahead and done another one, and I would technically lay it out in this grouping so that in case I can actually afford, now this is a huge chunk, if I can afford to do this, I know that that's how much it would be to take out 6 months worth of this payment. Doing it this way helps to do a few things. It's able to show, okay, this is what I have to do. We treated it just like a normal task or a project that we would break down. We broke it down into the smaller chunks, and we've put the due dates. If you put the actual dates that these are due, that's probably the best thing. And then adding in the extra payments in different colors helps to keep me motivated in case I really want to be aggressive about how I'm doing this. If I got extra income coming in, I can throw it at the loans to get it done. It really works for things that have a finite end date. Anyway, we're going to plug this in onto our calendar real quick, just so it gives a sense of how to do it. All right, so I've gone ahead, put the calendar back on here. I've already laid out kind of an arbitrary date for when my first payment is due. And I've gone ahead and done it for the other dates of the calendar that I have left. It goes to June. This would be July, August, September, October, November, December, and then January of 2022. Ouch. So one thing that I'm going to continue with my aggressive streak is add in those extra pays right up at the top. Now, I would put it just a little bit higher if I can, but I think it's gonna go out of frame. And if some of these calendars have note sections, if you have the note section, you would put it in the note section. And I could have done where I put both of them together, and then I don't even need these two. I would probably put in the actual months that I need to. So let me just, for the sake of this, so this is July 21, 2021, and then all the way down to December 21, 2021. All right, so I guess this is the big point. Why you're doing this. Once you've paid it, it comes off. And if I'm able to afford, oh, I can pay 2 more, I can pay like the 318 amount, then I'm going to take the months off and then move up into February the April amounts and have everything move up that way if I can afford it. Ideally, because I'm trying to be aggressive and pay this off as soon as possible, I would do that. If you're stuck in a situation where you can't really see that far out, then just leave the dates where they are and you can always come at it later. Like, you don't have to be at it right away, but at least you have the post-its marking when the next official payment is due, because you were able to actually, in this scenario, pay it all off. So just a few things to think about when you're kind of using this process. We've shown in a previous video how you can break down a particular action, and in this video we're showing how you can break down specifically some type of payment. So if you have any other questions or ideas, things that you would like to see, suggestions that you would like to see broken down, please let us know in the comments below. We'd love to try to work through them as best as possible. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, all of that good stuff, so you can keep up to date on all of our future videos. And again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video on Organized and Creative.